Hello everybody, Dave Neal here, stand-up comic and host of The Dave Neal Show. I'm on location, that's right, it's Bahamian bad boy, linen shirt Dave, Johnny Depp's diva over here coming to you from Nassau in the Bahamas. So quick update, pardon with the lack of solid audio, really. You guys know me, I'm a diva for good decibels. Don't have those here today, so we're trying our best. Johnny Depp donates again. $800,000 through the sales of some of his artwork. So we're going to get into that, plus some lawyers react to the motions filed by Amber's attorneys, a few other things. Nothing crazy big in the news, but as you guys know, I like to give you guys a nice mealtime video. Mealtime video means you can just put the channel on, we'll get to some of the content. Sometimes we nail it with some crazy news, and sometimes we just talk through 10 minutes, but have a friend for the party. That's what we're here for. So, charity update from Never Fear Truth at Johnny Depp NFT. Now, I have no idea. I've had so many people try to explain to me what an NFT is. It's a non-fungible token. Listen, if you ever have to say fungible again, we don't need that, okay? Not to mention, does anyone out there actually own any NFTs? Didn't they really go down in value? Either way, don't explain it to me in the comment sections. I don't care. I don't care if I'm sitting on $1 billion NFT. I don't need it. I don't want it. I'm too old. I'm 37. You can't teach me things. Okay. I bought Bitcoin. I tried my best. I lost money. All right. Charity update. I need charity after buying. Dude, you got to get into Ethereum. Yeah, that was 2021. Now here we are. Johnny Depp's Never Fear Truth NFT sale was always intended to benefit charities, and we are pleased to be able to confirm that nearly $800,000 in total donations have been contributed to the following organizations. Now, I have it on good accord. These are not just pledges, but these are actual donations, unlike others that have committed money but not delivered. In this world, I think he's actually got a little bit more credibility with the money that's going out there. So Perth, or I think the Aussies call it Perth Children's Hospital Foundation, Great Ormond Street Hospital Children's Charity, the Footprint Coalition, and the Children's Hospital of Los Angeles all received some of these donations. And they said, we are grateful and very thankful to the Never Fear Truth community for this tremendous accomplishment, making this project one of the most philanthropic NFT sales to date. And we are excited to build on the success and making an even greater impact going forward. All right, there it is. And of course, someone in the comment section, I laughed when I saw this, said, hi, Johnny, love you. And so does my granddaughter. She drew this for you. Love you. And this is just an amazing little drawing here from someone's granddaughter here. All right, Johnny spelled Johnny wrong, but that's okay. All right, let's go to the second part of our story. Actually, no, we have several more things to cover. So this wasn't really worth its own video, but there's two prominent YouTubers that have been demonetized. And well, I shouldn't say demonetized. They haven't been monetized. One never got approved for monetization, and Andrea Burkhart, a lawyer who I'm going to read her tweets in a minute, wrote, "Come on, Team YouTube, don't be that guy. Your AI overlords are failing you and all of us who have learned from Brian's channel. Do the right thing and get a human to review this." Brian McPherson, at that Brian fella, said, "It took the good folks YouTube just a few hours to tell me I'm denied again. They didn't even review my channel. Didn't even look at my content. I'm so frustrated. They're wrong. I spent thousands of hours creating original content to be told it's not mine now." Now, he, of course, is one of the bigger YouTube channels covering the Johnny Depp trials and tribulations, if you will. And the good folks over at Amber Heard's sort of fan group, which is called Depp Delusion, has been sort of very excited to see that some of these channels are not getting paid for the work that they do. And my thought is, look, you make content, people watch it, you make money off of it. But obviously, if your content rips off others, there's terms of services. The question became, did he actually violate those terms of services? When you look at all the check marks that are needed to become monetized, you only need 1,000 subscribers. He has 171,000. You only need to do a two-step verification. Easy. You only need 4,000 watch hours. He's got over 1 million watch hours. This is an incredibly successful YouTube channel, and also has 0 active community guideline strikes. So after posting this, turns out he did get remonetized. And some people wonder, why is this a big deal? Well, content creators need to get compensated for their work, or else they won't want to create. So just because free speech is great, like, oh, we all have a chance to voice something, even if you're demonetized, you can still make a YouTube channel. Well, put your money where your mouth is. And YouTube did just that. They said, update, we've re-reviewed your channel and restored your monetization. We really appreciate your patience while we looked into this. Now, that Brian fella must have lost thousands, tens of thousands, possibly hundreds of thousands of dollars, depending on how many of these videos never got monetized. It's not retroactive. You don't get paid for the demonetization period. As you guys know, a lot of my videos, I have to wait several days to get them approved, just because these are heavy topics, so they don't always get monetized right away. All right, so that's pretty interesting and again, some of the conspiracies are that Johnny's lawyers had worked with this YouTuber, which, again, it's wild to me. There's conspiracies that all of the YouTubers that have been covering this case, like Emily Baker, Popcorn Planet, and even myself on the list, have been accused of all being part of some sort of sinister plot to create bias in one direction and hate into another direction, which I think's wild, because my channel, I've got my other channel that's been around for a decade. This channel I created about 6 or 7 months ago to cover entertainment news, and then of course this became the biggest news story, not necessarily because of how salacious all the gossip aspects of it were, although that is interesting, but because there seemed to be a lot of misinformation out there, and there seemed to be a disconnect between what the mainstream media was saying is going on versus what people watched with their own 2 eyes and ears. And I think that's why these channels started to take off. I don't think there's much of a coordinated effort. I know on my end there isn't. I mean, look, could you imagine if I'm one of the guys that I'm just some bloke in a linen shirt, hanging out on a beach in the Bahamas. What do I know about this? The truth is, nothing. My channel is not about expertise. It's about kind of giving commentary from sort of a layman's point of view. So someone who's not a layman here is a lawyer named Andrea Burkhart, and she did a very long and thorough Twitter thread of what she thought of Amber's attorneys' briefs that they just, and brief is an ironic word here because there was nothing brief about it. It was 100+ pages. It was a Nicholas Sparks novel over here of all the reasons why. And Andrea says all the reasons why she thinks this is a bogus brief. So let's just read down the thread here. And of course, I believe she did make a YouTube video about this as well. It's been a while since I did a full legal review of one of Elaine's briefs. She's still up to the same old tired tricks. This will be a long thread. If you'd rather wait for the video version, it's in the editing bay and should be ready tomorrow morning. I believe that is up. As you've probably heard, Amber has filed a post-trial motion asking judge to reduce the verdict and or set aside the verdict and or dismiss Johnny's complaint. She also asked the court to investigate potentially improper juror service by juror number 15. We covered all of that. And by the way, my apologies. I said this was the appeal. I'm no expert. You guys know that. This is the post-trial motion, not the appeal. Andrea said, for those of you who don't want to read the whole thread and just want the bottom line, Judge A will not grant any of these requests. I also think there is a non-zero chance she could find the argument about juror number 15 to be made in bad faith and sanctionable. So Andrea thinks that Elaine could be sanctioned for this bad faith moment here, saying that this is one of the reasons why the case should be thrown out. Andrea says the arguments she makes are that the damages award is excessive, the verdicts for Johnny and Amber are inconsistent, the First Amendment does not allow defamation by implication for a public figure, Johnny didn't prove Amber republished the headline, Johnny didn't prove actual malice, Johnny didn't prove defamation by implication, juror number 15 wasn't verified. We'll go through these one by one, and this is what I love about the internet, because it's true. If you just stack this, motion by Elaine, it's got a lot of words that somehow make a lot of sense, and it's just a lot of legalese. To the average person, we don't know how to decipher it. But lawyers that are looking at it are going, this is garbage. This is a bunch of nonsense. So here's what Andrea says. Damages. Virginia law allows a trial judge to reduce a judgment called remittitor when the judge reasonably believes it is excessive. The verdict is excessive if it is based on passion or prejudice, or if the jury misunderstood the facts of the law. Elaine makes several convoluted arguments here, woven together in a tapestry of bullshit, held together by the soft glue of case law that doesn't say what she wants it to, and dusted with the patina of inconvenient facts. That, first of all, that's just beautiful use of the English language right there. She starts with the most tiresome of all post-trial arguments, the bald assertion that there was no evidence to support a proposition for which there is, in fact, a substantial amount of evidence. It's just not her evidence, so she doesn't mention it. Oh, so basically said, just because you didn't agree with the evidence doesn't mean it wasn't there. The jury saw the evidence and they made their decision. Andrea said, first, it's that Johnny had no evidence of losing Pirates 6. In the actual trial, Johnny presented evidence from Christian Carino and Jack Wiggum that he lost Pirate 6 because of the op-ed. When there is conflicting evidence, the jury gets to decide. Then she broadens it to absolutely no evidence. The op-ed caused Johnny any financial losses. In the trial, we watched Johnny's witnesses, Richard Marks, Doug Bania, and Michael Spindler, testified to his damages in Hollywood to the tune of $40 million in just 1 year. After no evidence, she moves on to a bald assertion that the verdict was only for reputational damages and included injuries not caused by the op-ed. She then offers some case law that, upon sampling, reveals the thin soup her argument serves. I just love how delicately Andrea is dissing Elaine right here. So then Andrea cites some cases that back her up. There is no fixed standard for measuring compensatory damages, and the amount of the award is largely a matter of discretion with the jury to be based on the facts and circumstances of each particular case. Thomas versus Seamus, the next case she cites, is a decision from a different circuit court finding a damage award excessive. It's not a published appellate decision, so it isn't binding. It's based on its unique facts, so it isn't very persuasive either. This is the type of stuff that might be, when you don't have the whole world watching a court case, maybe you get away with sort of the muscle that Elaine's bringing. Oh, I'm citing a case. And it's like the more you look into it, the more you realize it's very flimsy. Elaine then spends some time arguing that because Johnny contended that Amber started lying about him in 2016, that his damages weren't caused by the op-ed in 2018. She also criticizes Camille's closing argument as calling for a damages award from the date of the TRO. In a related argument, she argues that Johnny may not recover damages caused by other cases, and she reiterates all the smears of Johnny in the press and the UK judgment that demonstrate that the damages award was actually predicated on other harms. As we know, the UK judgment should have no bearing in this case. There are a couple of fatal problems with these arguments. First, Elaine didn't object to Camille's closing argument at the time. If it was improper, you have to object to give everyone a chance to fix it. If you don't, you waive it as an error. Second, the jury instructions told the jury that damages had to be caused by the defamatory statements and that Johnny's damages ended on November 2nd, 2020. So the jury already understood all the points Elaine is making when they decided the verdict. All right, so essentially saying, look, you already gave the jury all the information and they still said you were wrong. Finally, Elaine brings up several cases in which verdicts were found to be excessive, but the facts are generally quite different from Johnny's case. All right, there you go. So, you can't bring up previous cases if they're not pertinent. And the list goes on and on and on. So, I'll read this part about inconsistent verdicts, because that's what Elaine's emotion really comes down to, is that there are inconsistent verdicts. The phone's going off, honey?
Sorry.
No worries. Look, we're in a hotel room. You better be ducking out of there. There's a naked woman behind me right now. All right, that's what you pay for, guys. Speaking of inconsistent verdicts, we just finished dinner and we have got the. We're ready for. Okay, you good? Do I have to edit that out? We're keeping it in. I'm on vacay. Everyone in the comments, Dave, why don't you spend time with your lady? I do. I take 10 minutes here to hang out with you guys. This is my little moment. All right, we had a Diet Coke. We're kicking it. Let's make this video before the sugar high from dessert wears off. I gained 10 pounds already. Inconsistent verdicts. This is basically Elaine cherry-picking language from earlier letter rulings in hearings to argue the jury logically had to find for either Johnny or Amber on the issues of abuse. The verdicts, however, can be easily reconciled if the jury concluded that calling Amber's DV claims a hoax in general was not defamatory, but the particular manner in which Adam Waldman described the hoax being carried out was false. Okay, so it goes on and on and on. You guys can go check this out if you're really into the legalese here. I won't bore you to death with any more information, but congrats to the people that will benefit from the donations made to the different hospitals and children's organizations out there, and we'll have more information coming your way as it comes out. Thank you guys so much for sticking around. If you want to donate, you can go to patreon.com/Dave Neal, and I will see you all later. Bye, everybody.